He's pointing his finger at dairy and lumber, shifting timelines, different excuses, chaos and confusion. It's hurting workers, it's hurting businesses, it's hurting investments, and it's hurting families.
How much is a car going to cost in the United States after these tariffs have been pushed through? How much more is a car going to cost?
The estimates here are a little bit all over the place, but just yesterday, our Keith Naughton in the Detroit Bureau reported on a recent study done by Anderson Economic.
Monday morning, Doug Ford announces a 25% surcharge on electricity exports to the U.S. Monday afternoon, Tesla's stock plummets, losing billions in market value. Tuesday, gas prices start climbing as traders panic about potential oil restrictions. Wednesday, Elon Musk cancels Tesla expansion plans. This isn't speculation, it's already happening. Canada just pulled the trigger on the biggest energy retaliation in decades, and Americans in Michigan, New York, and Minnesota are first in the firing line with $100 monthly electricity increases coming. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
For weeks now, we've been faced with so much uncertainty coming from President Trump. Each day brings new tariff threats. Now, President Trump is threatening tariffs on steel and aluminum.
Group, which is a group based in Michigan that regularly does these sort of economic impact studies. Roughly $4,000 for a crossover SUV and the incremental cost to build that.
Ontario just declared economic war on the United States, and Americans are completely unprepared for what's coming. Doug Ford's shocking 25% surcharge on electricity exports isn't just politics as usual. It's a calculated economic assault targeting 1.5 million American households across Michigan, New York, and Minnesota. While mainstream media labels this a minor trade dispute, the hard numbers paint a far more disturbing picture. American families are about to see their monthly electricity bills skyrocket by $100 or more, creating financial chaos for working-class families already struggling with inflation. This couldn't come at a worst possible moment. With winter just weeks away, millions of Americans living along the northern border now face an impossible choice: heat their homes or put food on the table. The bitter reality? They can't afford both, and Canada knows it. Make no mistake, Ontario isn't making empty threats. They currently supply a quarter of the Northeast's entire energy needs, giving them unprecedented leverage over American consumers. Doug Ford made his position crystal clear when he warned, until these tariffs are off the table, Ontario will not relent. Translation: Americans are about to become hostages in an energy crisis they never saw coming. What the media isn't telling you is that Mark Carney's strategy goes far beyond a simple electricity surcharge. Internal documents reveal a far more sinister master plan.
On both sides of the border, it needs to end. That's why I've been crystal clear. Until these tariffs are off the table, until the threat of tariffs is gone for good, Ontario will not relent. A deal that gives businesses the confidence to invest. A deal that gives workers the security they need and deserve. Until then, Ontario will keep up the fight. We will apply maximum pressure to maximize our leverage.
Canada is actively working to permanently reduce American influence by establishing new energy partnerships with Asia and Europe. This isn't just about short-term leverage, it's about fundamentally reshaping North American power dynamics. The electricity surcharge is merely phase one of Canada's economic assault. Ford has explicitly warned that additional tariffs targeting American wine, food, and automobiles are already in development. These tariffs won't just hurt corporate profits, they'll devastate American exports and cost thousands of jobs in states already facing economic uncertainty. This crisis extends far beyond your power bill. Canada controls critical mineral resources like nickel that power America's technology sector, and there are growing indications they're preparing to weaponize these resources next. American manufacturing, particularly the electric vehicle industry, stands directly in the crosshairs of this brewing economic storm. While everyone was fixated on Trump versus Harris, Elon Musk's empire was silently crumbling. Tesla's stock has plunged a shocking 45% just as Canada unleashed its energy offensive, and it's no coincidence. The world's richest man is now watching helplessly as his EV empire becomes the first major American casualty in Canada's economic assault. Tesla's entire business model is now cracking under pressure. Their production costs have exploded, forcing prices up by a staggering $5,000 to $10,000 per vehicle. Middle-class Americans who once dreamed of parking a Tesla in their driveway are suddenly finding these vehicles completely out of reach, exactly as Canada planned. The numbers tell a devastating story that mainstream media refuses to report. Tesla's sales have absolutely collapsed, down a catastrophic 50% in China and 29% in Europe. This isn't just a slump, it's the beginning of a death spiral for America's premier electric vehicle manufacturer. Ontario's moves against Musk are calculated and personal. The cancellation of a $100 million Starlink contract wasn't some random government decision. It was a direct attack against Musk for his political alignment with Trump's trade policies. Canada is sending a crystal clear message: oppose us and we'll systematically dismantle your business empire. The human toll of Canada's economic assault can't be overstated. Over 12,000 American jobs in the EV industry now hang by a thread as Tesla and other manufacturers struggle with skyrocketing production costs. These aren't just statistics, they're real American families whose livelihoods are being sacrificed in this economic warfare. Consumer loyalty to Tesla is in free fall. In blue states, repeat buyers have dropped from 72% to 65%, while an astonishing 32% of Americans now say they would never consider a Tesla. The brand that once represented the future of transportation is rapidly becoming toxic to the very consumers it needs to survive. Canada's most powerful weapon against Tesla isn't even the electricity surcharge. It's their control over nearly half of America's nickel supply. This critical component in EV batteries has Tesla completely over a barrel. They literally cannot manufacture their vehicles without Canadian nickel. Internal Tesla documents reveal absolute panic over this vulnerability that investors can no longer ignore. The economic devastation is about to get far worse than anyone imagined. If tensions escalate further, experts warn oil prices could skyrocket by a shocking 10 to 20% virtually overnight. This isn't some minor inconvenience. It's an inflation bomb waiting to explode in Americans' faces at the worst possible moment. History doesn't lie. Previous energy conflicts have triggered catastrophic supply chain disruptions that sent consumer costs through the roof. And now it's happening again, except this time Americans are already financially broken from inflation. The true nightmare scenario. Those skyrocketing electricity prices we discussed are just the beginning. Analysts are now confirming what the mainstream media refuses to report. Millions of households will soon face impossible financial decisions as winter approaches. Pay for heat or buy groceries. That's the brutal choice Canada just forced upon American families. Make no mistake, what we're witnessing is nothing short of an economic Pearl Harbor. Canada didn't just discover America's energy weakness. They're systematically exploiting it in what could become the most financially devastating conflict of our lifetimes, and nobody is prepared for what comes next.